transfer related, and it's onto the summer, obviously, and it's the Darwin Nunez stuff has resurfaced again. I know Sam Maguire reported this a few weeks ago, and I think James Pearce shut it down very quickly. And last night, Fabrizio Romano obviously piped up that he thinks there's something in this Nunez to Saudi thing for the summer. Have you heard any more on this, or have you got any understanding of this that can shed any light for the viewers on it?
Yeah, so very much kind of chime along with what Sam had written, really, in terms of that there was definite strong interest in January, and you know, it wasn't something Liverpool were ever going to countenance at that point in the season, because you know, it would have been struggled to get someone new in, and even if they could have done that and got a replacement in, you know, you've still got that transition that's happening there, and you don't know that the new guy's going to hit the ground running. He's got to learn the system. He's got to learn and meet all his teammates. You know, and obviously availability in January is not always the best in terms of getting exactly who you want. So for Liverpool, it was a bit of a no-brainer, really, to kind of push that interest aside and try and just keep this squad together till the end of the season. But I think it gives you an obvious indicator of where things are going for Darwin Nunez. I mean, I've been banging the drum for a while that I expect him to leave in the summer. And I think now we're getting an obvious kind of indication of what his destination will be. Because it's my understanding the player was quite keen as well, not necessarily to get out of Liverpool right now, but that at some point he would be happy to make that move. So I think this is all just kind of lining up now for a summer departure to Saudi Arabia. And you know, obviously the hope is that he does so with a few winners' medals. I think he's been contributing pretty well at times so far this season, particularly more recently as well. So he could have a big say in helping Liverpool win more medals. And if he does that, then everyone will obviously kind of wish him the best. And I think, you know, it's been an experiment that's not kind of worked out perfectly. But as I say, if he plays a role in winning some trophies this season, then I think everybody wins from it there. And obviously Liverpool get a bit of the money back as well, selling to Saudi, and they can look for someone who's maybe a bit of a better fit for them.
And let's not be around the bush. Saudi is the best chance of Liverpool being able to do that, because otherwise I think they'd have been looking at a big loss on Darwin Nunez, because you have to remember, I think going back, Liverpool's route to sell in the always a bigger fit type area was always the Spanish clubs, Real Madrid and Barcelona. Now Barcelona are falling into an era where they're no longer able to do that. You know what I mean? So Liverpool haven't got this out for players, whether they've been successful or not. The route out of Liverpool was always that, you know what I mean? It was always, that's where Liverpool recoup most of their funds, whereas that's gone now. So Saudi is almost a bit of a golden goose, as we saw with Fabinho, whose legs had gone, and Henderson, who'd been struggling for almost 2 years by the time Liverpool come to sell him. That was the route. And Liverpool, not just transfer fees, getting the money off the books, that the wages money off the books and those contracts off the books, that allowed Liverpool to go and rebuild that midfield. So Saudi actually plays a massive part in that midfield rebuild that happened last summer with Gravenberch, with McAllister and Szoboszlai and Endo all coming in one summer. That was unheard of for Liverpool to have. Liverpool were given a golden goose by the Saudis to go and rebuild that midfield. And perhaps something similar may happen with the attack this year. You know what I mean? It's not that Liverpool need to completely reinvent their attack. They don't. But Nunez will be on a hefty contract, and obviously a hefty fee was paid for him. And if Arne Slot's not going to use him as his frontline striker, it doesn't really make sense to just leave him as a squad piece. That you'd prefer your squad piece to be a younger striker that you're bringing through and developing, rather than an elite level player that's a big international star and was paid probably the club's record ever signing. So it does give the Saudi thing, I think, does give Liverpool an out that they may not have otherwise.
You're absolutely spot on with that, because it let them off the hook, really, in a way that was quite underrated, in that they made bad decisions around Fabinho and Henderson in terms of the long-term contracts that they gave them, which were obviously reward for what they'd done in the past, but then had locked themselves into big money to players who were not delivering on the pitch, and both the legs went kind of simultaneously. And you know, the only way that Liverpool could have got out of that was this crazy Saudi money coming in. I mean, the fact that they got fees for both and were able to get them off the books was absolutely unbelievable, really. And I think similar thing is going to happen again with Nunez. Like I say, he's contributing well at the moment, but it's clear to everyone he's not kind of doing exactly what Liverpool hoped, and he's not hitting the level they hoped for. But he's on big money. They paid a lot of money for him, and so you kind of thought they were going to be locked in for a while into this kind of bad decision that they've made. Really, a rare bad decision in the market. You know, particularly as, you know, think of the European clubs, you know, AC Milan are interested, but they know on their side they're probably not going to be able to fund a deal. So Liverpool probably would have had to, loan him out and be stuck in that scenario for a while to kind of just eventually get him off the books. But thankfully, this kind of Saudi interest is there now, and that will help Liverpool because it will free up that place in the squad. It'll free up that wage and help them out to maybe find a centre forward who's a little bit of a better fit for what they want at the moment. And I agree with Bob there, by the way. He is a good squad player, and I think we're seeing it in the last couple of months, but he wants more. He wants to play more frequently. He doesn't want to be on the bench as much as he is. And also Liverpool, it's a big investment that for a squad player. He's on big wages and he costs an awful lot to just be sat on the bench most weeks. Liverpool can use those funds and that money much better. And that would be the aim in kind of getting Nunez out the door.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that the other factor is we see match to match that slot. We had this conversation on Monday. You thought Darwin Nunez would start last night and you gave good reasons as to why. And I thought Luis Diaz would start last night and he did. Because that, no matter what we say, is Slot's preference. It is.
Yeah.
And he'll take all the mitigating factors, the ones you mentioned the other day, and he'll still go with Luis Diaz up front, who's not a striker. And I know if Diogo Jota was fully fit, he may be the number 9, but Darwin Nunez is not. He's effectively third choice as Liverpool's number 9 just now. And that